since Hua Yong is going to propose to Sheng Shaoyou this Saturday, as per the preview, and I don't know how they're gonna play it out in the drama, but I just wanted to share how it all went in the novel version. Yeah, I just reread the chapter, and it was so yeah. Before Hua Yong proposes to Sheng Shaoyou, like he lies about how the pipe at their apartment burst and convince Sheng Shaoyou to stay at the suite room of X Hotel for a few days. And during those few days, Hua Yong was actually busy personally setting up the venue, and he had even pulled in Chang Yu, his secretary, into popping up balloons. And yeah, and after that, after he was finally done setting up the venue, he says to Sheng Shaoyou that, like, after Hua Yong's repeated urging, the burst pipe was finally done, and to tell him to return home. And Sheng Shaoyou returns after doing all the work at the company, and it was already dark. And like usually when Hua Yong was at home, he would usually leave a light on for Sheng Shaoyou, but that day or that time it was completely dark, and he tried turning on the lights, but it did not work. And he thought that Hua Yong was not at home, and he tried calling Hua Yong, and he heard the ring coming from the bedroom, and he goes to the bedroom, and it was still dark there when suddenly, like, lights suddenly the room lights up with warm and like radiant lights, and cold white lights suddenly start lighting up, forming a big large heart form just above their large bed frame. And before and before that, we see Hua Yong standing there smiling, holding a bouquet of white flowers. And he asks Sheng Shaoyou, will you marry me if he can marry him? And Sheng Shaoyou at first felt that the scene before him was straight out of a cheesy idol drama, a romance drama, like a typical move to female omegas. And for Sheng Shaoyou, who was an S tier alpha, he never once in his life imagined that someday he would be the one on the receiving end of such a cheesy confession or proposal. But he did like it, and he wasn't annoyed at this end, because the one standing before him, Hua Yong, with all his radiant smile, was truly to his liking. And Sheng Shaoyou walks towards Hua Yong, touches the flower, and asks him why he wasn't the one marrying him. And Hua Yong at once nodded and said that he will marry him, and says how, as long as Sheng Shaoyou was willing, marrying or being married did not matter to him, and how he was born for him, and he would only love Sheng Shaoyou. Hua Yong said, oh, it was so beautiful. And wait. After that, Hua Yong takes 2 rings, drops to one knee, and asks Sheng Shaoyou, can you marry me? Or like, will you take me as your wife or husband, whatever it is. And in the novel, it is so beautifully written. Like, it is written as Hua Yong, being an enigma, is perched at the top of the genetic evolution. But in that moment, and in that lifetime of his, he was like only willing to bow to his lover only. That was so beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, after that, before Sheng Shaoyou finally agrees, he once again asks Hua Yong what more lies he have told to him. And like, while he was not trying to settle scores with him, he better spill everything. And then Hua Yong confesses how he had learned to cry, and it was very hard, and also how his supposed sister was actually Gautu's, and how Sheng Shaoyou did not have any pheromone disorder, and how he had used like seductive pheromones to induce heat on him. And Sheng Shaoyuu just listened to him and said that if Hua Yong lies again, then he would definitely kill him. And Hua Yong says that he definitely won't dare to lie again. And Sheng Shaoyuu squats down, picks up the ring, and puts it on his finger, and says to Hua Yong that how he is Mrs. Sung from then on. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. Just how much Hua Yong loves Sheng Shaoyuu, loves him the same, not even a less. They both love each other so much, and it's so beautiful. And anyway, so yeah, and they get their marriage certificate on July 12th, and schedule their wedding ceremony 3 months later. For the wedding preparations and everything was complicated and all. And actually, Hua Yong had wanted to held the wedding ceremony at Jianghu, but in the Omegaverse, in this novel Omegaverse, it is said that when an alpha marries an omega, the ceremony is usually held at the alpha's place. So Sheng Shaoyou, being the sweet, oh my god, this is such gentle soul. So he accommodates Huang, and like they plan to hold their wedding ceremony at P country instead of Jianghu. Yeah. Okay, and while Sheng Shaoyou and Huang had the happy ending on the night, like when Huang successfully proposes, and it was the same night when Sumolang met with Gotu's father along with Gotu and learned how Gotu was pregnant. Yeah, that's all for today. Bye bye.